There's been a change to the Lakeside event, and it will affect your decision on which area to pick for this event. In the last video here, I talked about the Incense mission for Dratini being at Master 1. Well, there's been some changes. It is no longer Master 1, it is now Ultra 4. Which is pretty much good news for everybody because Ultra 4 is much more achievable, especially if you run a good camp ticket than Master 1 for Lakeside. And the same goes for Stufful Candies. So now in order to complete all the event missions, but of course don't forget about the weekly missions you still need to complete, but let's just talk about the event missions. You no longer need to reach Master 1 at Lakeside, you just need to try and reach Ultra 4. And I think the best way for you to calculate or estimate what type of strength you'll be able to achieve by the end of the week is to use the RaenonX calculator. I'll leave a link in the description below, and go to Team, under Team Analysis, and input the stats for your 5 main Pokemon for Lakeside. While this is not a video on how to use the RaenonX calculator, I will just briefly show you guys. Once you're in this page, you select the 5 Pokemon that you'll bring. So for example, I might bring a Meganium, and then I want to change its stats because it might not have everything that's put on there by default. You need to put in the 5 sub skills, and hopefully you got Berry Finding S. You need to put on the Pokemon level so that it knows how many sub skills have unlocked and the Berry Strength. And then also put in the nature. So I'm just going to put in a few random things. And the always full pack just means whether you're going to be sneaky snacking the whole time, and also put in what the main skill level is. So if you evolve this Pokemon twice or once or 0 times, then that would be that level. But of course you also have to put in how many main seeds you've used on this Pokemon. Let's say I've put in 3, then it would be this level. But of course if I've caught it at base evolution and it evolved twice, it would be level 6 main skill. So you put all of that in, and you put all that data in, and you select weekly, and you should be able to come out with a strength by the end of the week, what I expect to gain using this team. Also, you'll want to put in under your settings, so go to your settings up here. So if you've logged in, you'll be able to do this. Input your usual sleep times. If you do 1 session, this is where you would put in the sleep times. If you put 2 sessions, then you would add that in as well. How many healing triggers you expect to have, and it does give you the option to include good camp ticket or main skills. And if you could just tell the app or tell the calculator which dish you're on that week, and then put in your morning, your breakfast, lunch, dinner for what you normally cook, and also inputting your area bonus, then getting a rough estimate of what your weekly total strength will be, and whether it's required that you use a good camp ticket to reach certain event missions. Now, if you've got any questions about this calculator, you're welcome to ask me on Discord. I'll leave a link to this calculator in my description below, and also a link to my Discord in the description below as well. Now, you should understand that these things can and do change. This is data mined. This is not actual news from the developers. We're not technically supposed to know these things. Knowing these things ahead of time definitely helps our gameplay, but we never expect everything to remain exactly the same because things can change, things do change, and they patch bugs. And I suspect that they might have released Lakeside earlier than the event itself so that they can do the testing. In fact, several things have already been patched since this release of Lakeside. They've patched the errors with incenses. They are just about to patch several Pokemon that have the wrong ingredients. And so these things happen. But I still appreciate all the data miners for doing their work. And so this one is from Cerebi.net. But sometimes I won't be able to get the information out to you guys, the moment it changes. So if you want the most up-to-date information, make sure you join me on my Discord. And I highly recommend these 3 tabs to you guys to keep up to date with the game. So I was alerted of this change by Call Me Deebs under the Sleep Info tab. And Deebs is also the owner of the Pokemon Sleep main Discord. So thank you to Deebs for alerting me, and thank you to Sarah B for making these changes and updates. If for whatever reason you don't even think you can make Ultra 4 and you're thinking you want to get all the Incense missions done, well, a good tip suggested by Dyslexia Ducks from my last video is to actually spend your first week at Lapis Lakeside seeing if you can reach those missions, and if you can't, then switching over to Greengrass Isle, because the mission, the first week's mission will actually last 2 weeks, whereas the second week's mission will last 1 week. In other words, the first week's mission will actually overlap. So by the wording of the developers, which clearly states that week 1 mission will run from the 29th to the 12th, which is a 2-week period, and the week 2 missions will run from the 5th of February until the 12th of February, which is a 1-week period. So the mission will actually roll over from week 1 to week 2. It doesn't exactly clarify that you can do week 1 missions in week 2, but I presume that to be the case based on the wording. And that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for watching, guys. Keep yourself up to date by joining a Discord, of course subscribing to my channel and leaving a like on my videos. There's lots of valuable information everywhere.